Okay, we're good to go. So hi everybody, welcome to the sprint review for sprint 1. It was a 3-week sprint for Ibis. We're gonna cover multiple separate efforts, including some of the brigades that have started, the model that we started to use. So I'm gonna pass the buck first to David to talk about some community-related work.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good.
Great, great. So just at a very high level, yeah, as you say, the brigade work is ongoing. Sounds like there'll be more details further in, but just at a very high level, Luca did a very nice write-up of the recent deployment brigade work week, and I think that just shows. I mean, it had some interesting details about what specifically they did, but I think it also just shows a general. If you're curious about how the model works in general, it has some very interesting information, and I think you'll see the same sort of activity repeated as the other brigades get going. You know, the GUI brigades had a work week, Virtualization Brigades had a work week, so you can kind of read this as kind of a general update on brigades at large. So, really interesting post. Also with the community the last several weeks, a lot of ongoing preparations for build that's coming up at the beginning of November. So specifically, if you haven't already, please register for the event. We're getting close to 200 tickets sold, and that was the cap we had for the space. So get in while you can. Also, if you're interested in the hackathon opportunity at Build, we'll be offering a bit of a prize, and you can take place and there's still places for that. So if you want to take part, register for that as well. And then lastly, if you want to show off what you're doing, we still also have spaces available for the science fair that's going on, where you can show off what you're doing to the community and have conversations with people about uh, what they're doing and what you're doing. So sign up for any of those things if you haven't already. And then one thing unrelated to brigades and build, I just posted yesterday a call for help with some community metrics. There's a number of community metrics projects we could use help with, and if you're interested in data analysis and statistics, we would love your help. So let me know, David at ON.Lab.us, if you want to get started on that. And then lastly, just an FYI, if you want to see what we had shared out with the board about community at the recent board meeting, there's a blog post and some slides at that last link. So that's it for community.
Great. Thank you, David. Okay, on Northbound.
We have a couple of different efforts here. Pierre, do you want to talk about them?
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, the first thing we did is the introduction of a new abstraction called the Filter Connect Point. In particular, this has been implemented to each end that belong to the brigade deployment. So thank you, Eve. I think it is an important fact because he comes from the community, then in the brigade deployment, and he was able to contribute to the Northbound. So I think it is a good thing. Basically, with Filter Connect Point, we can model in a better way how we can model the traffic at the edge. Basically, the connect point plus a selector. Also, he implemented this non-trivial translation of the packet. It can happen at the ingress, at the egress, and the core if we use encapsulation. The point-to-point and multi-point to single point to multi-point are moved to this new abstraction. And as a consequence of this, we will have that the ingress points and the egress points will be deprecated. The next slide, we introduce the encapsulation labeled switching by OP for the link connection intent. And we can do this both for VLAN and MPLS. Several refactoring has been done in the intent framework. Basically, the idea is to simplify and streamline the procedure of the intent framework. So we have a simple allocation of the resources. And we have also that all the high-level intents now convert to the link collection intent. As a consequence, we will have that the pass intent will be deprecated. We have a couple of applications that start to move to this new feature, see the deployment brigade, particularly DNFP and VPLS. And news stories, particularly the ones related to bandwidth on demand and bandwidth enforcement, are starting. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, sorry, I forgot to forward the slide. I didn't realize you moved on from it. All right, on the web UI.
Yeah, hi, this is Simon. Not really much to report this time. Work continues on the region-aware topology view, just trying to re-implement the behavior from the classic topology view. We've also done some work on defining region and layout network configs so that we can define these things up front and load them all in one go. And then also some work has been completed on the intents view to allow us to resubmit intents from that view. So pretty short and sweet this time.
All right, good. We also got some new icons, right, for the device.
Oh yeah, we have received some new icons, but they'll be hopefully integrated next sprint.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
All right, for QA, did you want to,
Sure.
John?
So yeah. So first, we added some more measurements to topology scaling tests, like how long it takes for ONOS to discover the midnet topology, or is that the connection stable or not? And then we also, we also expanded intent encapsulation tests to include MPLS tests, and we cleaned up OSDB and optical tests. And finally, so John is still investigating this bug on ONOS 5347.
Yeah, that's the same one that Sienna is reporting also, right? That's the one that causes the loss of cluster.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay. Next slide. So in this sprint, we have 19 bugs resolved and 41 bugs created, 207 open bugs total.
Okay, yeah, so it looks like the gap is widening again,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Okay. Roughly speaking, so other than the cluster disassembling, do we have an idea of the severity of the other ones?
Well, so I think most high priority are HA bugs that John is dealing with, and we also have some bugs from previous spring releases, like the performance regression bugs. I think that's it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I know Luca's not going to be able to be online. Does somebody want to represent the deployment brigade?
I can report for Luca. Okay. As regards to the deployment brigade update, now we have that SDNFP can use the new API. So basically, we have a mix of tags and tagged interface. And the BGP speaker and the external router can send target traffic. We can use encapsulation, whatever you want. SDNFP and VPLS can work in tandem on the same network, and the separation can be built using the untagged interface. I think we have also new update as regards the deployment, particularly as regards to JAMT and the MLite network. For VPLS, the new VPLS is almost complete. We have 3 reviews pending on Garrett, and now we are waiting for the last review that should and the work on the VPLS, new VPLS app. That's all.
Great, thank you. Okay, Virtualization Brigade, who's going to cover this one?
Yeah. So actually, last week we had the Virtualization Brigade stand-up meeting at ON.Lab. So there we had 8 attendees, and also we have some introduced our objectives and scope and architecture. So, and then we agreed that we made 3 sub-modules, so sub-teams. So that is divided into 3 parts: the Northbound, the core, and MBI over each core virtualization subsystem. So we are now in starting phase. So we each team members are now discussing about the interfaces between each other. So that is now current status. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I see that the Virtualization Brigade mailing list is pretty active, so that's great. Dynamic Configuration Brigade. Unfortunately, Patrick wasn't able to provide an update because he's traveling. I know we're gonna go through a little bit of a reset on a Dynamic Configuration Brigade just to make sure that we're moving in the correct direction. Because right now I think some of the efforts are a little bit disconnected, and so expect some update on this in the next sprint. We'll be talking about this during the sprint planning meeting on Monday or Tuesday. All right, for MCord, I presume that'll be Ming-Yen.
He is not here, unfortunately.
Oh, he's not. Okay. Anybody else there to represent it? Otherwise, I can just talk to it a little bit.
You should talk to it.
Okay. So I attended a meeting between Sanja and a few others to talk about the most efficient use of ONOS for long-term support of the MCord use case, specifically in a context of the 5th generation. Because they were having an issue where the 3GPP and its evolution towards 5G resulted in kind of a duplicated control plane from the SDN control plane, and so we had a discussion on how to best bring these 2 control planes together, or at least keep them tied together where one was informed about what the other one was doing. And so we basically collapsed the proposed standard. This is still evolving, right? This is still not a standard, where there is an interconnection and routing function which is supposed to bring the various disaggregated functions that are part of the standard to basically to provide a messaging between them. And we decided to bring the IRA function into ONOS, while the individual separate functions like MMCF and others, some of which are optional, will continue to be running as network virtualization functions outside, provided by vendors and other providers. But the IRA function within ONOS will be able to actually construct multiple separate IRF pipelines and other control applications in ONOS, such as VTN or segment routing or other on-platform applications, can register listeners to be informed of control decisions done and conveyed via the IRF bus. So roughly speaking, that's a general direction in which the MCord will be moving. Are there questions on this? If not, we can move to next one. Is there somebody to provide an update on the IPv6 support for VRouter?
Not here.
Doesn't look like it.
All right, and I'm afraid I don't have enough context to provide update on this, so we're just gonna skip past this. And I think that's actually it just regarding the sprint review, because I don't think at this time we have any live demos. I'm hoping that next next sprint we can maybe have some of the UI demos. Do you think that's going to be possible, Simon?
Yeah, we can certainly show what we have at that point.
I mean, no pressure. I was just curious. That's all.
Yeah. As I think I've said before, the region-aware topology is turning out to be a little bigger than we estimated. So it's kind of going a little slower than I had originally anticipated. So I don't really know exactly where it'll be at the end of next sprint.
Okay. No problem. Just checking. All right. Well, with that, I think that's the end of the sprint. I noticed that this time we really didn't report on any of the sprint points and everything else. That's largely because we're running a combined sprint, and I think for next sprint planning we'll try to separate the scrums a little bit better, so then we can do more refined accounting of the individual teams' velocities. This time I didn't really want it to be a distraction. All right. With that,
Thomas, we don't have a sprint planning session on the schedule yet. Did you have an idea for when that's going to be?
Yeah, that's what I was going to actually. I was hoping to schedule one either on Monday or early Tuesday, either Monday afternoon or early Tuesday. Most likely Monday afternoon.
Okay. Do you want to say sort of the 1 p.m. time slot, 2 p.m.?
Yeah, 1 p.m. sounds good. Why don't we do it?
Okay.
1 p.m. Would you create the entry?
Sure, yeah, 1 p.m. on Monday.
1 p.m. on Monday, and I can then populate the entry with the appropriate GoToMeeting information, and I'll close up the existing sprints and open up new ones. I know that, Yuan, are you online? You said you had some ideas for how, basically changes in how we use Jira. Now, I don't know if that's going to impact sprints or if that's just for release planning.
I think it may be a bit disruptive at this point for ONOS. I think we should try on Cord. Okay. And then if it works on that side, then we can roll over to ONOS. Okay, perfect. So on Monday, then we can just proceed business as usual. Except I think this time we will create a couple of different Scrum, sort of parallel sprints to correspond with the brigades, which are sort of analogous to Scrums. Okay, that sounds good. Thank you. All right, with that, I'm going to close the meeting. Everybody have a nice weekend, okay?
All right.
All right.